right? And you can see the waves. If you just
look very closely, it's an alien ship in the water. You might think aliens live in the sky. Aliens actually live on the water. That's not a boat. That's a UFO in the water.
You won't believe it, but this UFO video was recorded in St. Petersburg, Florida in 2022. And according to the witness, he saw the object actually dive into the water. He said that he waited outside of the water for a while for it to come out, but it never did. And believe it or not, he actually called it an extraterrestrial. Those are his words, not mine. But anyways, like and follow for real footage of the unknown.
El 20 de junio de 2023, en Aguadilla, Puerto Rico, un grupo de amigos capturó una luz azul cuyo resplandor fluorescente emergía del océano. Casualmente, Aguadilla fue el escenario de una famosa filmación de un ovni cambiando fluidamente de atmósfera a océano sin alterar.
In 2013, a strange and unusual creature was captured on video in the Indian Ocean. The footage, taken by a remotely operated underwater vehicle, shows the creature floating at a depth of 3,700 feet. This bizarre being transforms itself looking like a monster before suddenly shrinking into a tiny black ball shape and then transforming into a lemon squeezer shape. The video serves as a reminder of the many unknown wonders that exist in our planet's waters. The ocean remains one of the least explored environments on Earth, and it is likely that many other strange and mysterious species are yet to be discovered. The video provides a unique opportunity for scientists and researchers to study and learn about the unknown creatures that reside in the ocean depths.
We are not alone. Sorry for the quality. This was filmed with a potato.
This video from a fishing trawler surfaced online of what appears to be two fighter jets and an unidentified flying object that disappears into the water. The people on board are shocked as they watch the event unfurl. Then suddenly, a helicopter appears and hovers over the boat. Is this just an elaborate prank? Or could this be an actual military encounter with an alien spaceship?
April 10th, an anomaly larger than Texas was spotted off African coast before vanishing less than 24 hours later. Object created waves spanning to 1,000 miles.
Inside the ring of mussels was a lake. It was like, wait a minute, I'm already underwater. We went out over the water in this lake and tried to descend in it and bounced off. It was so super saline and dense that the submarine couldn't go down it. We literally bounced off, and as we bounced off, we sent ripples heading back to the shoreline. It was insane. I've never seen anything like it.
Coincidentally, a few days after this aired on the television that he had made this discovery, when him and his friend were flying the helicopter, it exploded and he died.
Shocking new footage reveals a massive water spout rising from the Barents Sea and mysteriously entering the clouds above. The video, filmed by stunned fishermen, appears to show an enormous cone of seawater being siphoned into the sky. As the bizarre column ascends, it makes a sharp, physics-defying turn before getting swallowed by the cloud cover. The footage quickly went viral, with conspiracy theorists claiming it provides slam-dunk proof of extraterrestrial activity. According to their theory, the video captures an alien spacecraft secretly refueling mid-flight with a colossal stream of seawater. Mainstream scientists have scrambled to debunk the sensational rumors, suggesting the footage shows a rare weather event like a water spout or tornado over water. But the internet's UFO devotees remain unconvinced by the mundane explanation. They insist the video shows indisputable evidence of an advanced alien civilization mining Earth's oceans for hydrogen fuel and other resources. Skeptics may scoff, but the clip's millions of views prove the public's appetite for mystery remains unsatisfied. Is this footage finally the smoking gun proving we're not alone? You be the judge.
Hey y'all, Myra here. This video was just literally released on Twitter. It's footage of what is to be a UFO being chased, and it drops into the water and takes off, which we've known and have seen UFO on radar have done. The military has chased unidentified objects doing the same thing. This one happens to be caught on camera. Now, is this real or is this phenomenal CGI? You guys tell me. The first clip is muted, but I posted the second clip with the original audio. Like, post, comment, repost, let me know. Tell me what you guys think this is. Is this real or is this a phenomenal hoax? I don't know how you can hoax a helicopter and two jets, but...
Не страшно к нему подплывать?
UFO invasion. You just
In 2018, a man traveling from the Sea of Japan to Los Angeles filmed a large underwater craft or creature. The mysterious object kept up with the speed of the aircraft, eventually surpassing it. It's confirmed that it is not the shadow of the airplane. The object beneath the water is unknown.
Hey y'all, Maya here. So really quick, shout out to Zamaya for sending this to my attention. Y'all, this is groundbreaking. This is an extremely long video, but I highly recommend watching it all the way to the end.
Filmed from a cruise ship near Venezuela in February 2024.
UFO in water. We were so scared.
Yeah, I ain't tripping. I'm shaking. I'm not, I mean, like, I'm not feeling it, no. Yeah, bro.
Leave?
Yeah.
Google Maps is scary. Alien UFO exist on Google Maps. Don't be afraid. Just zoom in closely. Explain what this is. Get on Google Maps and see for yourselves. Frightening.
Wait a minute. Does that mean they from the water? Wait a minute. What is this? Invisible?
Take a picture of it, hurry! I am so freaked out. What is that?
What is that, y'all?
Be careful, be careful. What is that? That could be a satellite. That could be a satellite.
Shocking new footage reveals a massive water spout rising from the Barents Sea and mysteriously entering the clouds above. The video, filmed by stunned fishermen, appears to show an enormous cone of seawater being siphoned into the sky.
Hey dude, fuck that, come here, hurry. Hurry, this shit's fucking, I don't know what it is, but it's Elon Musk or something. Oh shit. What is that? That's the biggest fucking UFO I ever seen, bud. Hey, see how it just disappeared? I was thinking of like what is that, anti-aircraft shit that
Arab, some fucking gate, some gunfire. There's some hell of a tracers, bud. I never seen anything like that. Oh, that's not a fucking. That's not like a rocket. Like, oh shit, it's still fucking going. Dude, fucking meteors go down, not up, and it's still going. Like you can still see the silhouette.
I stepped on a rock and I was like, fuck, and then I turned and I was like, holy shit, it just came. There was nothing there, and then it just started happening. And now it's gone.
No, it's still there. I'm fucking. It's above the boat right now. I don't know. Fuck, dude. Good call. I fucking came hauling ass. That's crazy.
Then what are these two being sitting around?
Fuck, I don't know, but that was some shit I never seen before.
What's going on? Very fucking.
That was definitely some alien shit. That was like a whole bunch of lights.
Dude, it was nuts to butt the whole way.
I don't know what the fuck that was. I wasn't no fucking meteor. Meteors come down and they're blue. They don't go up. That was crazy. That was a fucking missile launch. I don't even know if that was a missile launch. As I seen missile launches, usually there's a cone behind it because you know there's a flame.
No, dude, they were all about the same size, evenly spaced. That shit was weird.
Yeah, you done it. You done it. You want a UFO? Go ahead.
Fucking UFO!
That's.
I am going to make you a bet that the next time you get a window seat on a plane, you're going to think of this next story, and you're going to think of the guest who is going to talk about this next story. Michelle Reyes was flying over New York City with her daughter, and she was sitting by a window. When she did what a lot of us do, we, take pictures out the window, nice video of the New York skyline. It's an amazing view. But what Michelle did not expect to see was a cylinder-shaped object zipping across her line of sight near LaGuardia Airport. Was it a bug inside the plane, maybe? Well, she played the video back to look, and no, it was not a bug. Whatever it was definitely outside the plane, and it was flying on its own, and it was really, really fast. Michelle Reyes joins me now exclusively, and I want to welcome back Ben Hansen from UFO Witness on Discovery Plus as well. Michelle, thank you so much for being here. First of all, wow, that was pretty alarming stuff. What did you do with the video, and did you reach out to authorities to share it with them?
Thank you for having me. And when I realized that I had something like this on the video, the first thing I did was I emailed the FAA to let them know what I saw and maybe it was a safety hazard. I reached out to them. Unfortunately, I haven't heard back from them. They didn't acknowledge my email. And then I sent it to Enigma Labs and the National UFO Database.
has been feeding this eagle
So
for
this
3
lady
years.
was filming her neighbor feed an eagle. I guess he was throwing like bread or something, some type of food he was throwing up. What she didn't realize is she caught a UFO on tape. Watch slowly. On your top right-hand screen, you're going to see an orb. See it? I'm going to slow it down for you. Ready?
Why are they hiding? UFO. Zoom in. Screenshot this and zoom in closely. Look at the bottom. It moved.
This photo was taken by hikers in Bolivia. Initially, it just looks like an attractive shot of the surrounding area, but something odd can be spotted on the other side of the lake. Zooming in closer, there appears to be a semi-transparent creature walking along the edge of the water. We can see that the creature resembles the gray alien, with elongated arms and legs, a rounded head, with large
That looked like the
bulbous
ones that was
eyes.
in Miami that time.
The creature
yo.
seems to be semi-transparent and doesn't have a reflection. So is this some kind of interdimensional creature, or just an
Right.
elaborate hoax?
That looked like
Holy shit, Dalton. Are you seeing that? Dalton. Dalton, are you seeing this? Bro, my heart just sank, dude. Dalton,
I had a secret clearance. I was able to go into restricted areas, which this was. And I walked into a photo lab, which was the NASA lab across the hallway. At the time, I was talking to one of the techs in there, and he drew my attention to a photograph, a NASA photograph. And this was an aerial photograph of the Earth, I'm assuming the Earth, because it had pine trees on it. And the shadows of the craft, or whatever it was, were in the same angle as the trees. And by its very nature, UFO, and I wanted to clarify that to a gentleman that was talking to me, means unidentified. So I did not know what this was. But I realized at this point that it's very secret, that it was kept secret, because I asked him, what are you going to do with this piece of information? And he said, we always airbrush these out before we sell them to the public. After that, I decided I would ask questions to other people. A guard told me that he was asked to burn some photographs and not to look at them. And there was another guard guarding him, who was in green fatigues, watching him burn the photographs. And he said he was too tempted. He looked at one, and it was a picture of a UFO. And he was very descriptive. I can go into that later with anyone. He immediately was hit in the head, and he had a big gash in his forehead. He was knocked out, and he was terrified. So he would have to be protected. So I do want to let you know that I worked out there for a number of years, and I ran into this. So it's not something everyone knows that works out there for a long time. My boss didn't know about it. Some people that sat right next to me didn't know about it. It's very strange, because I don't know how they can do it, but they can let some people know about it and then others not. I'm willing to testify before Congress that what I'm saying is true, and thank you very much.
Unbelievable footage has been leaked by an insider from the U.S. Air Force, showing what appears to be a living alien and a UFO from another world. According to the leaker, the footage was captured over 40 years ago by Private Michael Anderson, who was stationed at the military base near Grayswood Farm. After detecting an unidentified flying object in restricted airspace, officials from the base searched the area. The footage appears to show a helicopter being shot out of the sky and a UFO suspended in midair. The tape comes to an abrupt end when Private Anderson points his camera at what looks like a creature from another world.
Oh man, we got aliens popping out of the water in Palm Beach. Aliens. They here. Aliens. Look at this, y'all. Y'all think I'm lying? I'm at work. I'm at work. Aliens are popping out of the water. I gotta call the government. Who we call, the government? Oh my God, what the fuck is that?
This is a top secret footage of a diver found a UFO in the ocean. The unknown flying object is located around the area of the Bermuda Triangle. What we see right here is a UFO packed with unknown technology. Where is this UFO coming from? As you can see, the lights of the instruments are still working. Are the passengers of this UFO time travelers? Or are they coming from a faraway galaxy? What do you think?
A man in Australia saw this strange creature. Noticed how it is laying right next to the water. Scientists have never seen this creature before. Is it possible that we're overlooking the fact that
A UFO was seen hovering over the ocean in Mexico on February 15th of 2023, and the metallic sphere-shaped object appeared to be too large to be a balloon and isn't carrying anything, so it's not likely to be a hot air balloon. So, what is it?
So, it looks like this. Looks like a fucking jellyfish.
Like a jellyfish?
More questions, swirling about this new one, this UAP video taking a new shape.
Allegedly taken at a U.S. military base in Iraq in 2018, just released by a journalist named Jeremy Corbell, who claims that it was buried by the intelligence community. The footage was shot at night, and I'm quoting that they used thermographic forward-looking infrared imagery. But interestingly, the object could not be seen with regular night vision gear. And some of the troops who were at the base weren't even aware it was up there.
That shape has been part of UFO or UAP morphology since the beginning. You get reports of that back in the early 1900s. So although it looks strange to us, doesn't make it any less that it is there, that it is an incursion in a base, and that it was dubbed UAP, deemed UAP. So it looks like this. Looks like a fucking jellyfish.
Like a jellyfish?
More questions, swirling about this new one, this UAP video taking a new shape.
Allegedly taken at a U.S. military base in Iraq in 2018, just released by a journalist named Jeremy Corbell, who claims that it was buried by the intelligence community. The footage was
Alright, we diving deep down the rabbit hole. Let's see. Let's dive in.
Outside looking for the green comet, and I know that it's near Mars, which is right there. And I also know this thing above this house is not a planet nor a star. It's too close, and as you can see, it's changing from green to red like an airplane. The only thing is,
it might be
it's
on
also
something.
blinking purplish blue. It's a round circle, and most of all, it's not moving. I've been watching this for an hour, and it is not moving at all. My husband thought it was a satellite, but that looks nothing like an iridium flare, unless it's a satellite falling. Even he doesn't know what this is as a genius, so. There's our unidentified, I forget the new name for it, aerial UAP, unknown aerial phenomenon. Nope.
That UFO
UFO hearing in front of Congress today was a huge step for us in the UFO community. And I'm going to tell you why, but first let's get into the juicy details. Okay, so one of the most shocking things that we heard today came from Ryan Graves. Now, this incident took place at Vanton Air Force Base, or Space Force Base, where a giant red cube the size of a football field shot out of the water and darted over the mountains, witnessed by Air Force pilots. Next, Representative Anna Paulina Luna came to win today when she asked the question we're all thinking. Why do you keep referring to it as non-human instead of extraterrestrial? Whistleblower David Grush said it's because he wants to be open-minded about its origin. And this was the most shocking part for me, where he said that these beings might be interdimensional and proceeded to talk about the holographic principle of reality. Oh my God, David Grush, did you watch my Dimension series? I highly suggest you all watch my Dimension series. Go to the link in my bio and check out this Dimensions Explained video on my YouTube. Because you're gonna need to understand dimensions in order to understand what's happening with alien disclosure going forward. Okay, another one of the most shocking things that we heard from David Grush today. Non-human bodies been retrieved from these craft. And he said yes, which literally confirms aliens under oath. Let's continue with these juicy details. Ryan Graves talked about another sighting, which was a black cube inside of a clear sphere. A lot of people...
Oh, hell no. We were right, you see? Antarctica is probably the location of where everything that we want to know is. Look at this. Sunday World, of all fucking people, Sunday World posts UFO/UAP researchers identified alleged flying saucer in Antarctica for exploration. Get the fuck out of here. Like, we didn't know what was going on? Google, what happened? You people are lacking over here. You forgot to fucking scrub this one, but you can't now. It's already out there, right? It's already out there. Look. Does that look like it's not cylindrical in shape? Does that look like it's not a UFO? And if it is, or if it's not, it doesn't really matter. What the fuck is it doing in that crater? Do you see? Look how high the snow is. You know how tall that is? You have any idea?
They found a signal. Now, first of all, they found a planet buzzing with RF energy. Imagine you had a transistor radio on the moon and you were listening to the Earth. There would be thousands of radio stations and TV and military and Wi-Fi and phone networks. It would be very difficult to resolve anything. All that you would know is that the Earth is very technologically based. But using this wide field global network, my source tells me they've resolved some signals. He's telling me that they found discernible, unique information encoded in the global ET signal. What is it, says I? Decoding what they have found is a big part of this project. What he was prepared to say is their pictures, their data. What exactly alien ET pictures would look like is really fascinating. When will they reveal what they found? The truth is out there.
This footage was taken about a week ago in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, of a UFO. And no, it is not that light over there. It's going to go across the middle of the screen here, so watch closely. Right there. Now, I have slowed it down here a couple of times so we can look at it a little better. I have an idea or two about what it might be, but...
UFOs exist. The U.S. government found quite a number of them, and they are indeed of non-human origin. Those are the explosive allegations from a former intelligence officer tonight in a whistleblower complaint that the Inspector General is taking very seriously. 36-year-old Air Force veteran David Grush is exposing what he calls a top-secret military program that has reportedly found wreckage of fully intact UFOs. The government now calls them UAPs, or unidentified anomalous phenomena. For years, there have been whispers and rumors that the government had aircraft of non-human origin. This report is the first evidence it might be true. The Inspector General has called Brush's complaint urgent and credible. Tonight, we have a World Television exclusive interview with the whistleblower in which he claims we not only have the aircraft, but the government has been keeping much of its secret from Congress and from the public.
The moment researchers found for the first time the presence of a fetus inside Montserrat.
Todos esos verdes que
Todos
se
esos
ven
verdes son
metálicos.
Metálicos, como cuerpo extraño. Oye, sí parece que hubieran restos hay huesitos pequeñitos, mira.
¿Cómo?
Hay huesitos pequeñitos como si estuviera embarazada.
¿En el abdomen?
Sí, mira, ahí está.
Fragmentos de hueso.
Sí, pequeños.
Ya, eso le tiene que estar
como un feto pequeño.
Ya, fragmentos de hueso.
Unos huesitos,
No, sí. No puede ser. Wow.
Mira, esto es un huesito.
Ya. Claro.
Esta puede ser su columna.
Sí, ya, ahí le tiene que dar un poco más de un detalle.
Lo que significa tener
del lado derecho
con una gestación.
Esta es su cabecita, parece su
Mira,
ojo.
ya está. Ese es el fragmento y esta es la columna.
Sí, esta su cabecita, esto parece su agujero de los ojos, parece cervical de acá. Y esas son sus extremidades.
Ya está, ya no hay duda. Hay extremidad en cabeza, ya no hay duda pues.
Estaba embarazada, ¿no?
Estaba gestando.
Sí, estaba gestando.
Ya está, no hay duda.
Fucking thing just floating around out here, man. That's crazy. Adelanto.
Y creo que hay una demostración clara de que nos encontramos ante ejemplares no humanos que no tienen relación con ninguna otra especie en nuestro mundo.
Nos quedamos con reflexiones, con inquietudes y con la ruta de seguir platicando sobre esto.
It's like the skies are so big, they can't even patrol the skies the way they say they could. It's crazy.
Your two-star this morning. What percentage of UAPs do you feel are adequately investigated by the U.S. government of the 5% that are reported?
I can only speak for my personal leadership over at NGA. I tried to look at every report that came through that I could triage. So,
do you believe that officials at the highest levels of our national security apparatus have unlawfully withheld information from Congress and subverted our oversight authority?
There are certain elected leaders that had more information that I'm not sure what they've shared with certain Gang of Eight members or et cetera, but certainly I would not be surprised.
Okay. You've stated that the government is in possession of potentially non-human spacecraft. Based on your experience and extensive conversations with experts, do you believe our government has made contact with intelligent extraterrestrials?
It's something I can't discuss in public setting.
Okay, I can't ask when you think this occurred. If you believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries. Yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still in the program.
And was this documentary evidence, this video, photos, eyewitness? Like, how would that be determined?
The specific documentation I would have to talk to you in a skiff about.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. So, and you may or may not be able to answer my last question, and maybe we get into a skiff at the next hearing that we have, but who in the government, either what agency, sub-agency, what contractors, who should be called into the next hearing about UAPs, either in a public setting or even in a private setting? And you probably can't name names, but what agencies or organizations, contractors, et cetera, do we need to call in to get these questions answered, whether it's about funding, what programs are happening, and what's out there?
I can give you a specific cooperative and hostile witness list of specific individuals that were in those.
And how soon can we get that list?
I'm happy to provide that to you after the hearing.
Thank you.
Johnson.
At least one of them was part of an archaeological dig. So it's old. At least one of them is old. I don't know if it was the one I worked on, but I remember something to do with an archaeological dig.
Whoa.
So that means it's not just old, it's ancient.
That'd be a great Steven Spielberg movie.
Yeah.
Right?
As all of it would.
Yeah,
that tripped me out when he said that for the first time.
Yeah, that's a freak out right there. Just a couple of dudes with some brushes looking for a Tyrannosaurus Rex bone. They hit metal.
And when did they find it? You know, that they have 9 of them.
Yeah.
Well, and how could we have not heard about that? What about the guys with the brushes? How could you uncover something like that? And
well, Joe's newspaper at home does. I mean, they said it on that first day.
Oh, you mean the Roswell
Daily
Record?
Yeah, the one you told me. Yeah.
I have a cover. What is this here, Jamie?
This is the document, but I had to do some digging to find it.
Yeah, it's just kind of... Yeah, so this is where they meet at EG&G, and this is Admiral Wilson, and there's a lot more coming out. Now, I want to be clear, George didn't...
Breaking UFO news. Breaking UFO news. A UFO was retrieved in Kingman, Arizona in the 1950s. At least that's what this tweet from Christopher Mellon seems to show. If you're not familiar with Christopher Mellon, he's the former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Intelligence and former Minority Staff Director of the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence. Mellon just tweeted an email exchange with a senior government official. Here's how it reads. Mellon stated, "Deleted and I are making huge progress getting into the crash retrieval program. He plans to meet with you at some point." And the senior government official replied, "The Deleted would be slack-jawed if they found out what we now know." Mellon replied, fully deleted and redacted. Senior government official stated, "Right now, we haven't gone that far back. We're dealing with the recovered UAP that landed in Kingman, Arizona in the 50s. We're vacuuming up info as Deleted gets read in. We now know that the management structure and the security control systems and ownership of the crash retrieval. We also know who recovers landed or crashed UAPs under what authorities. We also know that a still highly classified memo by a secretary of the USAF in the 1950s is still in effect to maintain the cover on UAPs. We also know, Deleted, who's the Air Force gatekeeper. Do you believe?"
UFO enters the ocean and scuba divers followed it. You'll never believe what they caught on camera. 4 scuba divers were in the Bahamas when they saw a UFO enter the ocean next to their boat. Fascinated by the opportunity presented, the men decided to follow it. And this is what they saw. This is fantastic footage and a fantastic story, but there are some red flags. The witness statements were sketched. They only described the events leading up to the UFO entering the ocean and not them actually swimming near it. I also wasn't able to find any police records of the incident, which is weird because you would think that they would have reported this to the authorities.
Check this out, y'all. Check this out, y'all. This was filmed in St. Augustine, Florida, okay? This right here is the original video, but this right here is it zoomed in. Now see what that is, y'all? It's a Merkaba. It's a Merkaba light body. Y'all see that? Check it out. This is literally in Florida. Florida's got all the action right now, y'all. But yeah, this is a Merkaba just floating
I don't know
around.
if that's what it is.
So people be coming across these things. They don't know what they are. But zooming in, you can clearly see it's fluctuating all kinds of different colors. It's literally emanating all the colors of the rainbow. It literally looks like a diamond. It looks like an X, right? X marks the spot. So, but this is the light body. Check it out. Look at that. Check it out. That looks...
Hey y'all, Meyer here. I am like completely blown away with this footage right now. This is brand new, recently dropped videos of a UFO UAP captured on film. When I'm talking about brand new, I have no backstory. I don't even know who filmed this, where it was at. All I know is this is the best, if it's legit, this is the best footage I've ever seen of a UFO, especially for all of my peeps out there who hate the blurry videos and it's too far away. This is literally up in your face, followed by 2 jets. Tell me what you think. Could this be CGI? And also, to the person who filmed this, please, please, please reach out to me. I would love to find out what happened, how you captured this, where they were. You can email me at theparanormalchick@gmail.com. So everybody, take a look. Like, what? What? Tell me what you think.
Dr. Avi Loeb and his colleagues put out the final results, the final analysis of all the debris they recovered at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean last year. And the results are absolutely astounding. First of all, it completely debunks the notion that the tiny spherules found at the bottom of the Pacific were coal ash or any other product of human civilization. They are instead a unique substance, something radically different than anything we have ever found on Earth before, and it came from another solar system.
These are allegedly photographs of an alien body found in the woods of Quebec. Let's check out this haunting video. The video we are watching is a series of photographs, most likely a filmed screen of a computer or laptop. The photographs display a very realistic-looking extraterrestrial biological entity, seemingly deceased in a wooded area at night. Along with the body, at least 3 people can be seen in the video, and none of them have yet to be identified. In one shot, 2 men smoking seem to be holding up the body using some type of wire or cable. The origin of the video is murky and seems to be passed down. The video was uploaded originally to a YouTube channel called The Strangest Videos in September of 2008. The uploader gave us some details of the story behind these photographs in the description, originally written in French. The Strangest Videos first saw these photographs when a friend of his ex-roommate was visiting his apartment in the winter of 1992. The friend received these from his cousin, who lived in the Red River area of Annunciation, Quebec. According to the friend, the story goes that the body of the alien was found by snowmobilers in a wooded area. Do you think the government retrieved this body? Could there have been a craft nearby? And what caused the alien to pass away? Do you think those photographs were real?
Are they really here?
There are 3 craft that have been found that are actual motherships under the ice in Antarctica. These motherships are literally 30 miles wide. So when they infiltrated these bases, they saw reptilian-looking humanoids defending their home turf. And that was very traumatizing and shocking to many of these Marines when they saw this. All of this stuff at some point is going to be brought forth publicly.
Okay, I'm going to throw a theory out there. I'm not saying I believe this, but I'm just going to throw it out there. Okay, we know that we've heard testimony and we've heard that there are Nephilim that's frozen in Antarctica. We've heard that there's secret bases. We've heard all these different stories. We've heard about ex-military personnel that were traumatized by the things that they saw there. There was one guy that said he held the key to every room. I mean, there's been a lot of different testimonies. Dr. Stephen Greer had some whistleblowers that were talking about Antarctica. Okay, 3 motherships. I mean, do you know how crazy this is? 3 motherships. Okay, and then just recently we heard in the news a while back, okay, there's a mothership in our galaxy, and then that's it. We didn't hear nothing else because that's not that big news. You know, that news is not that big. We got to get back to the real stuff that we talk about 24/7 that never gets accomplished, the other news, which is the distraction, by the way. But with that being said, I'm just saying that you hear this, and here's a theory. This is the theory I was going to throw out there. Okay, everybody go, okay, they're angels or demons or whatever. Okay, reptilians, Satan was a reptile in the Garden of Eden. Okay, right? Okay, so if they're defending their turf, as he says in this video, they're defending their turf, it's obvious that it is very possible that the reptilians could be the fallen. And the reason I say that is because you got the Nephilim, Antarctica, that people claim. Okay, now they're seeing reptilians there in Antarctica. And what do they have going on? He says it's coming out publicly eventually. This is on the Coast to Coast talk show. Okay, so if that's the case, I don't know. I'm going to let you guys decide. All this stuff's so far-fetched, but at the same time, the truth, you know, sometimes it is, you know, you think it's the truth, but sometimes, you know, it's just testimonies by people and they're trying to get attention and things like that. And hopefully this is not what it is. Hopefully this is real. Tell me what you think in the comments.
That's what I thought it was the first time that I saw this the other day. I mean, it's out literally in the middle of nowhere, under this big oak. But if you actually take a look down inside, there are stairs down there. So I didn't notice this before last time I was here because it was in a rush and it was a lot darker out, but it looks like these stairs used to go up further, if that makes sense. And what I find really weird is that all the lights, these lights are on. So that tells me that there's still something active here. But then the entrance is so low tech. Is that it's just fucking strange. It just looks like someone's going up at the top and buried.
They're being surrounded by friggin' UFOs or the Coast Guard. I want to send there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 lights we see there. They've been coming on, they work 7 lights.
Spaceship found refueling using the sun. NASA image.
This is no joke. Google map it.
NASA hearing on UFOs and UAP.
It includes some recently declassified footage and trends for discussion. Next slide, please. So some of you probably saw a version of this at the open hearing last month. This is an overall review of all of the analytic trends of all the cases that we have to date. While the numbers may have changed a little bit, the overall trends remain the same. Most of what we are seeing reported by aircraft are at the altitudes where we fly aircraft. That should not be a surprise. You will note, however, that I have no space reports and I have no maritime reports. That is notable, even though we are looking across all of those domains. On the upper right, we have UAP morphologies. The vast majority of what has been reported and what we have data on, a little less than half now, are orbs, round spheres. And in the bottom right, you will see in the heat map of the areas where we get most of our reporting. This is very much a collection biased map. This is where our sensors are, our military and our IC and some of the FAA data. In the middle, it is what we call our typical UAP characteristics for the vast majority of the cases that we see. One way of looking at that is we'll call it a target package. This is the thing we are out hunting for in most cases. Next slide, please. This is an example of one that I showed at the hearing recently. This is a spherical orb, metallic, in the Middle East, 2022, by an MQ-9. I will come back to the sensor question that David raised here in a moment. This is a typical example of the thing that we see most of. We see these all over the world, and we see these in making very interesting apparent maneuvers. This one in particular, however, I would point out, demonstrated no enigmatic technical capabilities and was no threat to airborne safety. While we are still looking at it, I don't have any more data other than that. And so being able to come to some conclusion is going to take time until we can get better resolved data on similar objects that we can then do a larger analysis on. Next slide, please. I'm going to let this play through. This is a newly released video. You'll notice there are two dots moving back and forth. There is a plane at the bottom that's moving across the screen, and now there are three dots moving back and forth. The moving back and forth is from the sensor and the platform that's collecting it. This is a P-3 on a training mission in the western United States. They picked these up and they tried to intercept and was unable to intercept them. Apart from that motion, and you'll see a little bit of defocusing from the sensor itself, there is no other oddity about this, except for the fact that they couldn't catch them. The reason they couldn't catch them is because after further analysis, it was shown that those objects were actually much farther away from the P-3 than they thought. And in fact, when we went even deeper, looked at air traffic control data, we were able to match those to aircraft on a major flight corridor heading into a major airport for landing. This is the kind of thing that can spoof and or provide misperception of both very highly trained pilots as well as sensors, right? And this was reported as an odd grouping of 3 UAP. Right. That is not to say that the pilots didn't know what they were looking at, or they knew what they were looking at, but they weren't really sure. But it also is meant to say that when they're not sure, they're reporting it now. And that's what they're supposed to be doing. And then we have to go look at it. Next slide, please.
2023.9 Jiangxi captured a UFO flying past quickly.
This extremely fast and small UFO is found all over the world.
We discovered something absolutely shocking in this bizarre footage that has been recently circulating the internet. In the video, Soviet troops trudge through the snow towards the edge of the forest as a gray object can be seen to their right behind some trees. When the camera gets a closer look at the strange gray object, it appears to be a flying saucer-shaped craft buried in the ground. The Soviets investigate the craft, which is covered in dirt and debris and seems to have crashed in the forest and had been there for some time. And shockingly, at the beginning of the footage, as the soldiers enter the proximity of the craft, Some small dark figure is seen hiding in the brush and observing. Could this have been some secret Cold War technology or an extraterrestrial craft? And what was lurking in the bushes and watching the Soviet troops? Do you think the soldiers were able to answer the question?
Are they really here?
This is what we know about the aliens revealed today. One of the witnesses, whose name is David, explained they found bodies inside of a UFO that were non-human.
Do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries. Yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
David used to work as an intelligence officer, and he used to work at the Air Force, but is now retired. David also said people have gotten injured by aliens and the federal government, but he can't get into detail. He said that UFOs and non-human beings were also interdimensional. This means they can travel through dimensions. David and two other witnesses said that these UFOs could be collecting data about Earth, and they said it wouldn't be a stretch to say they could be collecting data about nuclear weapons. Now, hopefully nothing happens to this man for speaking out, because according to him, he's previously feared his life for speaking out, and if something happens to him, we know why.
It must be about 3,000 feet up now, I'd say. Wow, look at that. It must be about 3,000 feet up now, I'd say. It must be about 3,000 feet up now, I'd say. Wow, look at that. It must be about 3,000 feet up now, I'd say. Look at that. It must be about 3,000 feet up now, I'd say.
A couple of hours ago, NASA released a report that actually identifies some of the most famous UAPs. We got some answers, not all of them. UAP is the new term for UFO, which is just a little bit more clear, and the first ones that they were able to identify were South Asian Objects 1 and 2. Here are the videos of them. These were both identified as likely being commercial aircraft, and the stuff happening around them is likely a result of the video being compressed. This is a big one, the famous Go Fast video, which people say is moving faster than any of our technology can, or in ways that our technology can't. They released the report on it. They were able to calculate the height and speed of the object, which looked like it was going really fast, but it turns out it was only going 40 miles per hour, which actually matches the speed of the wind at the altitude it was at. So while they didn't identify what it is, it seems to just actually be moving with the wind, so it could really be anything. What they weren't able to identify were the silver metal-looking orbs seen by an MQ-9 over the Middle East. They still have no idea what that is. The last paragraph of the document says, at this point, there is no reason to conclude that existing UAP reports have an extraterrestrial source. However, if we acknowledge that as one possible threat towards their UAP team, so they're not going to release the name of the head of the UAP program.
An intriguing video allegedly filmed in 2021 showing several unidentified flying objects over an undisclosed coastal location. Filmed from atop a hillside, the footage shows a bright sunny day with clear blue skies. Suddenly a silver disc-shaped craft zooms across the surface of the sea. Moments later, 4 or 5 similar metallic saucer-shaped objects estimated at 30 feet in diameter emerge from behind a small island. They slowly ascend straight up into the sky at a steep angle and disappear from view. While compelling, the legitimacy of the video remains uncertain. Some experts suggest the odd shapes and movements could indicate secret military prototypes. Others point to increasingly sophisticated special effects as a plausible explanation. Of course, the possibility these are. Extraterrestrial spacecraft cannot be definitively ruled out either. Without further context, the origin and authenticity of this video remains an open question.
These people saw a UFO coming out of the water, got it all on camera.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. My gosh. They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots to the west. Holy thing, dude.
Through a sensitive military installation before moving over water where it began what Corbell says was a controlled descent into the water. It emerged 17 minutes later, took off at a high rate of speed. And like other UFOs we've seen, Erica, there's no obvious source of propulsion here. And unfortunately, again, there's more questions than answers.
This is it. And yes, it is very intimidating. We're driving through the convention, first time in my life. You can drive through a crowded convention. I swear to you, they just split. The hall divides and you go right down the middle. It's that intimidating. It's really amazing.
And it won't blow up with a touch of a laser.
It will not. It's not that sensitive. Yeah.
Now that's crazy.
Yeah, saca el pelo de aquí, saca el pelo de aquí.
When I was 18,
¡Por Dios, qué es esto!
Well, on March 25th, you know, the more this comes out, the more we're going to hear more about these stories that happened years and years ago that everybody thought everybody was just kooky and full of it because they were saying these things, and actually it was being covered up by our government. And you know what kind of makes me wonder about this story? They're talking about the aliens, and there were 16 aliens on this ship, and that they were childlike in the appearance. I'm wondering, were these grays? Were they, because, I mean, they're talking about them being childlike, and, you know, I'm just kind of curious to see. I'm going to research it more to find out more about it, because I don't know. Were they, you know, did they look different than normally what we're seeing, or were they just your normal gray aliens with the 3.5 foot tall features like we're used to seeing, and that's why they use the term childlike. I don't know, but this is a pretty interesting story. But I've seen so many like this, so many, and what's amazing about it is the abduction stories that are now starting to pour out, and the people are from totally different places, don't have any idea what the other people are talking about, never heard their story, and their stories add up perfectly. So you know they're not lying. They're not lying. They pass polygraph tests. You go through this process, and still, even though folks find out, they still doubt it. You know, I like to hear these stories a lot more than I do now with the UFO, just seeing UFO videos. You know, people send me UFO videos, but these stories are a lot more intriguing, a lot more interested, and, you know, because to me, this UFO, it's nothing.
What is this? I've been tracking UAPs over my house for 3 weeks. The following are pictures and video I captured. What do you think? Comment your explanations.
The U.S. government is finally exposed. So for you who don't know, 3 witnesses had a hearing in Congress about aliens, and they exposed as much as they could. This man saw images of what real aliens look like, and this is what he said.
The image was of something that I am not able to attach to any human capability, either from the United States or from any of our adversaries. And they saw a sequence of 4 craft in a clear diamond formation. One of the pilots goes to check out that diamond formation and sees a large floating, what I can only describe as an orb. Again, like I said, not of any human capability that I'm aware of.
Now, during this hearing, they exposed the government's program where they tried to reverse engineer crashed UFOs. And during their reverse engineering process, apparently bad things have happened to people. They've also collected everything they could get their hands on, including alien bodies. And a lot of questions asked to the witnesses they couldn't answer publicly. This is all historical news and really strange news.
Element 115 is a super heavy element. We've only just recently synthesized, we only made 4 atoms of it. The craft uses larger quantities of it, 223 gram little triangles of it. But it's a unique element. When it's exposed to radiation, it produces its own gravitational field, its own anti-gravitational field, and it's what's used to lift and propel the craft and create distortions around it. It's an amazing material, and it's certainly nothing that occurs here or naturally.
And it can be weaponized, and that's kind of the issue here. If this story is all true, that can be weaponized.
Absolutely. I mean, we ran all kinds of tests on it, everything from atomic absorption, X-ray fluorescence, and every kind of test you could possibly imagine, and bombarded it with radiation to see what effects it would have. They call that neutron activation, but it was a stable element, something we had never seen before.